By the early 1980s, authorities already suspected Richard Kuklinski was more than just another name in organized crime. But suspicion wasn't enough. They needed proof, and Kuklinski wasn't sloppy. He didn't leave witnesses. He didn't leave patterns. And most of all, he didn't talk. So law enforcement turned to one of the only methods left: deception. An undercover agent was brought in, posing as someone who needed work done. Dangerous work. At first, Kuklinski was cautious, measured, watching, but over time, something shifted. He started to open up, not just about future jobs, but about the past. And that's when things took a darker turn. Because Kuklinski didn't just admit to violence. He described it. Like it was routine. Like it meant nothing. He talked about different methods, like tools in a toolbox. What worked, what didn't, what took too long, what was efficient. There was no anger in his voice, no hesitation, just calm analysis. At one point, investigators listening to the recordings would later say, "It sounded less like a confession, and more like someone explaining a job." That's what made it disturbing. Not just the acts themselves, but the complete absence of emotion behind them. But the most chilling part wasn't what he said. It was how easily he switched back. Because after these conversations, after discussing things most people couldn't even imagine, he would go home, back to his family, back to normal, like nothing had happened. Two identities, completely separate, and neither one bleeding into the other. Eventually, the evidence was enough. In 1986, Kuklinski was arrested, and even then, he didn't panic, he didn't break, he stayed calm, controlled, the same way he had always been. But once he was in custody, and the interviews began, that's when the real questions started. Because Kuklinski didn't just confess, he talked. A lot. And what he claimed would shock even the investigators who had spent years tracking him. In Part 3, we get into those confessions, the numbers he gave, the stories he told, and why some believe the truth might be even more complicated than it seems. Follow for Part 3.